Hello, this is Rick and Sarah Muranaka. My wife has conned me into doing a video for you guys. Basically, what we wanted to do is we've been doing keto. We started keto kind of our way. Learned a lot about it, but also decided we're gonna take everything we learned and we're gonna start a video and a Facebook page and talk about what we do. Take everything we learned and
We're figuring everything out too, so that we can see comments and questions and everything else.
So keep in mind, we're not professionals at all. We just had some awesome results based off things we've done. We've had awesome results, and we're gonna, and so we're just gonna share some of our results with you and things that we did and things that worked for us. But again, we're not professionals, so we just know that this has worked for us. So. A little bit about our story, I can tell you is that for me personally, I've tried a lot of different diets. I've always, weighed. I've been heavier. Always been somewhat athletic, but heavy. And the last 2 years, I got the heaviest I've ever been, and I was like, man, I got to do something. And so I've tried all these different diets, but none of them I could really sustain.
The funniest part is he came home, and we were gonna do like a low-fat. Not high carb, like they wouldn't say high carb, but it was like a low fat, I forget what diet it was, but I was just like,
just another one.
We are not doing this.
Yeah. So we just tried to figure out something that would work for us. So we looked at keto a little bit and we decided, let's try it. Let's see what we can do. It sounds like we might be able to do it. It might be sustainable. Some people say it's not, but it definitely is for us. We just started it. We went all in for the first probably 2 months roughly. We went all in, and these were kind of the results we got. So we'll kind of share them with you and kind of go from there.
Right. So most people, when they want to do keto or look at doing keto, they figure out that their goal is usually weight loss. So that's kind of what we built our journey on. Some people obviously join for other reasons, for health issues, which we had a few between the two of us that it actually just got rid of. But our biggest goal was weight loss. So the first thing we would recommend is to get an app. We used one called Keto. There's Carb Manager, and there's MyFitnessPal. And it's something I think is important for you to track all of your food, at least for the first 2 weeks. That's what we did. And then we got really comfortable basing it on how we felt. As to what we needed to add or eat or anything like that.
It's this one right here. Oh wait, where's it at? The blue one that says keto. Oh man, that's not like very.
It's backwards too online, but.
No, sorry.
Yeah,
it's called
it's
Keto
literally
app.
Just called Keto.
Yeah.
So it's easy to find.
I would say it's really important to make sure you do track. Get one of these apps and track, because for me, I just kind of fly off the seat of my pants sometimes, and that's probably one of the reasons why things didn't work well for me on other things. But with this, I decided all in. Like I said, I tracked it. We tracked it for probably more than 2 weeks, probably a month. I know I was still tracking it over a month, but then it just kind of got into a routine, and it made me learn every food I could have. It showed me what I could have, and it showed me to stay within my macros for keto. So it was awesome, and now I don't need it. I know exactly what I can have and what I can't have and how much and all that, and it's awesome. So anyway.
And there's a few different routes you can go. You can start what's called lazy keto, and they'll tell you don't track anything and just make sure you're under 20 carbs. We don't go into anything easy, so we were like hardcore. Strict keto, and we, like I think I posted, we wanted to see results quicker, because we were going to Maui in a month and a half, and we both felt terrible in our bathing suits. So,
and I had a brand new bikini thong I was going to wear on the beach, so I needed to make sure I fit in that.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
So anyway, so if you have to ease in, you do. We don't ease into anything. So we went by tracking, and we started with 70% fat, 25% protein and then 5% for our carbs. So that still kept us within our 20 net carbs. And then the rest, so I would say protein you want to try and meet or stay under. And then fat you're really using for when you're hungry. And in the very beginning, you're hungry because you're used to eating, well, I was used to eating 3 meals a day and snacks. So I used my fat a lot in the beginning. I wanted the fat bombs. I wanted heavy whipping cream with berries. I wanted all the good stuff because I was just hungry. Rick got into fasting way quicker than I did.
But I went... Some of my favorites and what you think about is I like chicken skin. I always have, like, you know, you barbecue chicken and eat the skin, and I love that, but I could never have that because all the diets are like, no, don't eat that crap. Well, now I can. So I started eating it, and I was really leery about it because I just like, oh my gosh, this is no way this is going to work. Chicken skin, I get to have freaking sour cream, which I love sour cream. All the stuff that Sarah would always tell me, why do you eat that crap? I'd be like,
and I would not touch.
Yeah, and it's like, well, this says I can eat it, so I'm going to eat it. And I just went all in. I was like, maybe I didn't trust it at first, but it didn't matter. I was going all in, so I did it. And I ate all that crazy stuff. Cheese, lots of cheese, all sorts of stuff. I ate it all because that's what it told me I could do.
Right. And I kind of think it's funny. I call it, like, this has to be a man's best way of eating because it's like everything that they absolutely love. And again, yes, everything we're afraid to eat.
Bacon.
Yep.
Bacon.
But in the end, through all of it, you get full on less amount of food. So you're actually consuming less calories, less food, and you're way more satisfied than you would be if you were eating all the carbs. But the whole point of eating this way, so is to get into ketosis and to use fat for your fuel instead of carbs. So that's why your fat intake can be so high. Your body can never burn everything you would eat in one day. Like, you'd have to eat an incredible amount of fat for that to happen.
Remember, again, I just want a disclaimer here. We're not professionals.
No.
This is just, again, our Facebook page is Keto Our Way because we did go full on, but now we just kind of invented our own thing off of it. I mean, we're still doing keto. We still call it keto, but it's just, we're not professionals, but we just go and we got the results that we want and we're still going, so.
And I'm the researcher, so when we decided to do it, I watched like 400 YouTube videos on it and just Googled a lot about it, which I recommend to do. I just like knowing a lot about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I don't like to do diets just to do it. I want to know why it works or the science behind it, so I'm kind of a nerd that way. But yeah, so I spent a lot of time researching it and looking at all of this stuff.
And I just basically, if there was a book called Keto for Dummies, like those little yellow books, you know, you read in school, that's me. I just read the basics of it and I pretend like I know everything about it, to myself at least, and then sometimes I argue with her and I'm always usually wrong, but regardless. And
also, if anyone has questions, obviously put them in the comments. We'll either answer them on the video or as we go along, or it will give us ideas for new videos and what to talk about. Obviously the startup is the easiest to talk about because we got lots of stuff to talk about. Okay, so as you get going on this process, you may have heard you're going to get what's called the keto flu, and you don't throw up by any means, but you feel like you have the flu. You're tired. I got headaches constantly. I was always going to bed with a headache, and I don't think I knew that we should have been upping our electrolytes. So I think 2 days in, I maybe came home because there's a gal at work who was doing keto as well, and I was asking her questions. She's like, well, you have an electrolyte supplement, right? And I'm like, no, I don't. So potassium, sodium, and magnesium are the 3 things you're going to be really low on because you're losing all your water weight in those first 2 weeks. So that's what causes the keto flu. Because you're not having any bread, cereal, pasta, sugar, and I mean, if you're coming from high amounts of that, you're going to feel absolutely terrible coming off of that. But definitely supplements. So we salt our food. I put salt in my water sometimes and my coffee if I make my bulletproof coffees. So you want to up all of those and then possibly take a magnesium supplement in addition to that, and that will help with your flu. You can do the
There's an electrolyte,
Yeah.
little elixir thing you buy. It's called electrolytes. I don't know where you get it, but
well, we have
I put it in my water and my stuff, and it tastes like really gross. So, okay, I guess I'm done.
but we use Zip Fizz currently, which we wish we would have had when we started. But I was thinking of, what are they called? They're ketones. Like, it's a drink that is ketones, exogenous, something like that. And you can buy that. I would only use it in the beginning. I don't really think they help once you get into ketosis. Like, you're doing it naturally, so why would you need to drink them? But the gal did give me those, and it made me feel a ton better. So get one of the two to help you get through that keto flu, because it's not going to make you want to stop, I guess, but you're doing it right, and you just have to get through that few days, and then you're going to feel clarity, you're going to feel a lot more energy, you're going to feel a ton better.
When you're on it, make sure no bread, no cereal, no pasta. They say 90 days to do that, but and not to cheat at all. Stay just right on it. But I think we made it almost 2 months, and then it was like we were going to Maui, so we did have some cheats, and it worked okay for us. It didn't sidetrack us too much, so it was fine. But no bread, no cereal, no pasta, and the biggest thing I would say is try and stay away from sugar and alcohol. Period. But sugar is the big one. There's sugar in everything. And, you can find your different ways to get around that. Now we've found a lot of ways to supplement sugar now that we've been doing this a long time. But in the beginning, try and you need to stay away from all of that. If you are going to have that, it's just going to sidetrack you and derail you. So sugars, stay away from that. There's a lot of great things out there. Stevia is one of them. Some people don't like the aftertaste of stevia, but there's also erythritol, which I really like. But it's got like a cooling factor at the end, even though your mouth isn't cool. It just kind of feels that way. And she makes me cookies out of that stuff, and it's awesome. They taste the best chocolate chip cookies I've probably ever had. And then there's the monk fruit, and monk fruit's another one it looks just like sugar. When she told me monk fruit, I was like, I don't want that crap. I don't want fruit. But it's not. It looks just like sugar, and it's really, really good. It's no weird flavors. It tastes, it's awesome. I've made barbecue sauce. I've made all sorts of things out of it, and it's awesome. So
Right. And I think we would have used that more in the beginning had we known more about it, like for some of our sugar cravings, but I think it was to our benefit not to do that, because we did lose quicker not having desserts. It's just like any way of eating. Desserts are not going to be something that help you lose weight. I know I stall when I eat more of them. So like if I had a cookie or two every night, I would probably maintain, but definitely would not be losing.
yeah. So that's kind of the start. And I will say that there's a lot more we'll go into real quick, but I will say that you guys, everybody's got a busy life, and you do have to plan a little bit and set some time aside for this. But it's not a ton of prep. It's really, like people meal prep all weekend or whatever. You don't have to do that. It doesn't take long to cook most of this stuff or to prepare it. It's really, really quick. And, you can trust me, if you can commit to it for at least a week or two, you're gonna realize, you're gonna see results, and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna keep doing this. It's gonna be super easy for you. And so you can just remember, you guys can do this. It's really, really, it's hard at first, but it's easy once it clicks in. And I probably am around the most cravings of anybody, being a Dairy Queen. I'm around ice cream all day. I make it. I cook in the grill all day. I'm around awesome food. Bad food all day. And so, I still was able to do this. So if I can do that, I know anybody can.
Right. And kind of just to go along with that, I would say if you do end up cheating, get right back on. And this is the easiest one to get right back on. So it's not like, say you go and have pizza with real crust and everything. The next day, you don't have to go back to like a rice cake and low-fat cheese. You can have something else. You can have bacon and eggs with gravy on it. Like, I guess it just, once you cheat, it doesn't feel
Keto
like you're
gravy.
Going back to like terrible, low tasting food.
Well, yeah, and I think it depends. Everybody's different in how they do their cheats. Again, after you've got to put in at least 2 months before you really start to cheat or do anything here and there. But my dad just came and visited, and we had pizza one night, and my stomach shrank quite a bit. So I used to be able to eat probably 10 pieces. I used to have 12 to 13 wings, whatever it was, and now it's like I'm at 3 pieces and I'm stuffed. I'm like absolutely stuffed. But it affects everybody different. I can wake up the next day feeling totally fine. Some other people, when they cheat, they wake up the next day and they feel like they have the keto flu again. They feel really, really sick. And then that kind of use that as your gauge on what you can cheat on and what you shouldn't, or maybe, that tells you. Like if I would have woke up and felt like I was sick, I probably wouldn't have had pizza or that much pizza again. I maybe only would have had 1 piece. I don't know. But that would have told me, my body would have told me how I felt there. But my body's fine with it, and I did that. And the next day I was bacon and eggs for breakfast. And it was a normal keto day. And, I did probably gain a pound, maybe 1.5 pounds. But literally 2 days later, I was down 4 pounds. So it kicks right back in depending on your body. And that's when you do this process and go through it, you figure out what your body's like. And mine reacts completely different to hers than hers does. So we're a little bit different on that. But we both know what we can do now. So it's really nice. I know that if I'm going to go out for a weekend, I know how long it's going to take me to get back, or how I'm going to feel, or what I should have, or what I should stay away from. So,
right. I react worse to things. We went to Mexican food one time and we ate a ton of chips, and I felt so disgusting even the following day. So I did not want to cheat like that again. I'm bigger on what's called calorie cheating. It's just, and your stomach's small, so it's even hard to do this, but calorie cheating is basically just eating keto food all day or having a huge meal, but just eating more than you normally would. Like I said, it's harder because your stomach just doesn't take in as much food, but I feel better after doing that than going and having like the tortilla chips at the Mexican food place, because that was not great. I was going to answer that on here. Andy, Rick's commenting what his lunch stuff is. I am lucky and I work from home 3 times a week, so lunch is super easy for me. But in the beginning, I did a lot of string cheese, pepperoni, macadamia nuts, eggs. I like eggs in any form, so that was super easy for me. I would either have hard-boiled or scrambled eggs, fried eggs, anything. Of course, in butter or coconut oil to get the added fat, but that's what I did a lot, especially in the beginning for lunches.
Yeah. Another thing that really helps that they talk about is intermittent fasting. We think about it a little differently and how we do it. But intermittent fasting typically, like for me, is, if you eat at 6 o'clock at night, you don't eat again for, let's just say, 14 hours. Okay, roughly. So what does that put us at? If it's 6 o'clock at night, 6 in the morning is 12 hours.
I always just say 8 hours of it is when you're sleeping. So don't eat 3 hours before and 3 hours after you wake up, and then you get your allotted amount.
I get to the point where some days I eat during the day, like I'll have a snack, but usually I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat till probably, if I'm going to snack, I'll eat around 1 or 2. I'm not even hungry. That's the purpose. I'm not trying to do that anymore, but I'm just not hungry. And that 1 or 2, I'll finally be like, oh, maybe I'm a little hungry, and I'll have some summer sausage, some pepperoni, couple different cheeses or something, and I like to dip it in ranch, and I'll just have maybe 3 or 4 slices, and I'm good. I don't overeat. Because I'm not starving, but I know I'm hungry. And those are certain days that I do that, but there's other days I'm not even hungry till dinner time. I don't eat all day, and I'm not hungry till dinner time. Now, I drink a ton of liquid. I drink a ton of water and a ton of tea. But I don't, sometimes I don't eat. And so when I do that, it's almost like a 24-hour fast for me. And I probably do that 3 days a week. So every other day, I'm basically fasting for a whole day. and it works great for me. And then once in a while when I eat like every day for like 3 days, it kind of shocks my system, or 4 days, it shocks my system because I'm not fasting anymore, and I actually drop weight more, like it like jump starts my system again. It's really weird, and then I'll go back to it. So that's what I found works for me. So I'm kind of a little bit different than her, but yeah, I just kind of do whatever feels good, and as long as I'm feeling great, I keep doing it.
And he got to that much quicker than I did. Like, he was ready to not eat like 2 days in, and I was like, I'm still hungry. So I started with 3 meals and snacks, and finally cut down to 3 meals. Then I kicked into the intermittent fasting, and I do normally a bulletproof coffee in the morning, and then I don't eat until lunch, and don't snack a ton, except it's that time of the month, which you women know what I'm talking about, unfortunately. So if it's not that, then yeah, just lunch and dinner is really all I usually eat now, as well. So, and that, it's kind of neat. Nolani started doing it with us as well, so all 3 of us are actually completely different. She's stalling right now, so she's trying to figure out what's going to kickstart her. So we're all kind of learning our bodies and what we need to do to get back into weight loss mode, or maintain, and we have to gauge that ourselves.
Another thing is, your body, you start burning fat for energy, and it's awesome. Some people say you got to be careful, ride the line, because you don't want to burn muscle, things like that. But I'll tell you, this is the best I've ever felt in my life. This is probably the strongest. Even though I don't work out a lot, my goal was to get to a certain weight before I really start kicking in the weights really hard again. So I do stuff, light workout, cardio stuff, but not a lot, until I get to a certain point where I'm going to be lifting heavy. But I haven't lifted much, and I haven't lost a lot of muscle. I'm still pretty strong, and I love the way I feel. So that's been awesome. But I'll tell you this again. Keto, there's so many great things that you can have if you're creative and you have an open mind. I was the biggest junk food junkie. I mean, I ate the worst of the worst. I mean, chicken fried steak's one of my favorite. Every time we went to breakfast, I ordered this huge chicken fried steak at Annette's, extra gravy, all that crap. And so I figured out how to keto-fy it, and I made chicken fried steak. And you use I used a combination of coconut flour and almond flour instead to make it very low carb. And then I found this awesome recipe for gravy, and it's probably better.
So good.
It's better than any gravy I've ever had, a normal gravy.
He even said better than Annette's in West Salem.
It's awesome. So now, we don't have it all the time, because that is one meal that's a little more time consuming, but it's freaking amazing. And like I said, you can keto-fy anything. Pizza, whatever it is, and we found some of the best recipes. I like to cook, so she finds me recipes, and I cook a lot. So I'll spend my whole evening after work cooking, because that's what I love to do. So we've tried a lot of different things, and we're going to be posting a lot of awesome videos and recipes for you guys to try that are our favorites. Got that. No cheating or on drinking. Alcohol is really potent. Stay away from alcohol for at least 2 months if you can.
Potent in that once you start not eating carbs, when you go to have a drink, you get drunk faster. You cannot drink as much. Even if you think you can, you can't. It affects you way differently. So I would say be very careful. And we didn't even have a drink in the first month and a half or 2. But just be careful if you do go to do that you don't drink like you used to. So
and for you guys out there, that can be a bonus for you. She can only have 1 drink, and then she gets a little lovey, and so it's. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Really, no. Anyway, there's some things out there that are called ketosis strips. They're like pee strips. You pee on them, or you put them in a thing of your pee, and it tells you if you're in ketosis or not. They're not really accurate, so I would say don't waste your money on them.
I think you can use them in the beginning, they say, because it does tell you if you're getting ketones in your urine. But once you're like a month in, you shouldn't be peeing them out. You want to be using the ketones. So if you are peeing them out on the strips, that's actually not a good sign. So the best way, they have keto meters, I guess is what they're called, We have not purchased one, but the best way they say to monitor anything with keto is to do your blood glucose. So we have one, and basically you find in the morning what your that's kind of like your marker. That's your blood glucose. That's your insulin, and then once you eat, you want to check it 2 hours after, and if you're back down to what you were in the morning, then you're all good. Like, that didn't affect you and kick you out of ketosis. So that's the best way to check. It is time consuming, but we've done it kind of on and off.
I don't like it because you got to poke your finger and it hurts, and I'm a baby, and then I feel that little poke all day in my finger. So she did it for a while, but if you want more information on that, I would just say message Sarah. She knows everything about it. Me, you don't want to message me because I'll just say don't do it because it hurts.
Or just look on YouTube because, for instance, there's Keto Connect is my favorite couple, and I watch all their videos all the time. And they did a really awesome video on all the sugars we're talking about, so like erythritol, monk fruit, but they did like aspartame and sucralose and all the other ones that are questionable on strict keto. And so they did their keto one and their blood glucose every time after they ingested the sweetener, and it told you which ones would raise their insulin and which ones wouldn't. And they compared it to actually straight sugar. So that was a super good video to watch to kind of get the hang of what they're looking for when they're testing. But yeah, so pea strips, we say no.
Overall, if you can stick to this and commit to this, you're going to have more energy. You're going to feel awesome. You're going to have more focus. You're not going to crash. I mean, everybody feels that crash after they eat like crap or they drink crappy stuff. You don't.
Or right after lunch at work, that was my big thing.
Nothing anymore. It's just awesome. It's just level. It's just easygoing, and it's awesome. So I would say, again, ask us any questions, or we would say go to Keto Connect. Keto Connect is awesome. We've learned so much from them, but also, keto our way for us, again, we love to share everything that's worked for us. So ask us if you have questions. Again, everybody's a little different, but for the most part, we've found a lot of good things, ins and outs of things, pitfalls to stay away from. So if you're going to do it, let us know. We'll help you. Whatever help you need, we love to help people. Anybody who knows us, we coach as well. So we love to help people succeed. Take before pictures for sure. Take after. Don't be afraid.
It sucks.
It sucks. I did it. You saw probably my pictures on here, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. And then it was like, I can't believe I let my wife post these. But, I'm 60-something pounds down in, 2.5 months or something, 3 months, 60-something pounds down. And I'm going to continue to go. I hit my goal already, but I have another 15. I made a new goal, another 15, and then I'm going to be set. But take those before and after pictures, because when you reach your goal, you're going to look at them and you're not going to care who sees them. You're going to be like, this is awesome. And you're going to feel great about it. So do that. Also, I know I haven't talked to her a lot about it, but I like to cook. So keep in mind that we might have some keto cook nights or keto cook weekends or something where, we might just, if anybody wants to come over, we'll have a group of people over and we'll all make some keto dishes, teach people how to make things, or just everybody make things together so we can all learn our favorite dishes, something like that. So we want to kind of do some stuff like that as well. And we're looking forward to doing it, especially this summer with barbecue, because, oh man, I love barbecue. And I've already got some awesome no sugar barbecue sauces that are amazing. But we want to do a lot of things like that. Sarah's the guru with desserts. She found a lot of great things with desserts. So anyway, share any great recipes you guys have, any ideas. And again, another disclaimer, remember, we are not professionals. It's keto our way because that's what it is. It's a base of keto knowledge, and then we've kind of made it our way as well for what works for our bodies and for us.
And yours will be a total different experience too, and you'll figure out what works for you and what doesn't. So that's kind of the neat part.
Yep. And remember that the last thing I'll say is, once you gotta hit your 2 months, get your 60 days in before you cheat. It's like, and then reward yourself, but get the 60 days in. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. Get it in, and it should be easy once you start getting these foods down, like when you make Alfredo and you're like, oh my gosh, this is keto Alfredo, and you're like, wow, this is better than regular Alfredo, and you're like, yeah, because it's full fat and it's awesome. But again, it is easier than it sounds, but get through your 2 months, and then once you get through your 60 days, don't worry about cheats so much and all of that. Don't just go out and cheat all the time, but don't worry about it. You're not going to want to eat bad after that. You're going to want to eat keto most of the time, and then every once in a while you're going to find yourself where, heck, I coach softball. I'm on the road with my girls. I'm at lessons at the facility. I don't necessarily always have time to. Sometimes I don't have time to prepare something, a snack, and I forget. And you know what? It is what it is. If I'm on the way home and I have to stop at Taco Bell because I'm starving, well, usually I'd order like 10 things. Right now, there's a Power Bowl there, and I get double meat and lettuce, no beans, no rice, but I get salsa. I get, another sauce, avocado sauce or avocados on it, and it's awesome. And I feel like it's a cheat, but it's not a cheat. It's still ketoed. Or, you don't have to worry about it as much. Or you can have regular pizza if you want. But after you try keto pizza, you'll love it.
Right.
So,
yeah, and I would say a lot of people, I think, take a mindset of trying to find like a quick and easy bar that they can have. We didn't start eating bars. I don't even know if you ever eat them, but I bought some. They're like Quest bars, and they're from Costco, and they're cheaper, and they're not bad, but I keep them in my purse now just in case. But I would say don't try and find all the packaged stuff right away. Just stick to your meats, veggies, cheese, butter, all the stuff that is not prepackaged, especially in that first 2 months as well, to really get the effects of getting in ketosis. Like, you're going to know you're in ketosis without using all the fake sugars as well, and then start dabbling in those once you've hit, a pretty big milestone with weight loss, if that's what your goal is. So
send us questions if you guys have like some favorite foods and you're not sure and you don't have time to research all the recipes because we're all busy. Send us a message on here of things you like and say, hey, do you have any suggestions for this? I like this kind of stuff, and we'll give you some recipes if we have them. Or maybe, if you guys have a request for us to make a video on a certain recipe or our favorite thing, let us know, and our goal is to try and make a video, at least one video a day, if we can.
Got big goals.
Well, I go for it. Anyway, if we can, especially, I love cooking, so if we can do that, that'd be great. But send us suggestions or questions, and we'll try and do our best to answer them.
All right, I think that's all we have for you tonight.
All right, cool.
All right.
Good job, babe. I'm proud of you.
Oops, I need to work that out.
Okay. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening to us babble on, but we're really excited about this. So have a great night, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.